The clock strikes 12, I step into the haze. Whispers call me from 1,000 graves. Shadows dance in corners out of sight. I chase the unknown deep into the night. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. A flicker, a chill, a shadowed hand. The unseen lingers where I stand. Through creaking doors and empty halls, I hear the echoes of forgotten calls. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown. And the unknown. Eyes that watch from a place unreal, a touch so cold it makes you feel they're near but hidden, veiled in shade. I walk with ghosts, I'm unafraid. I hunt the fear you dare not face. In the darkness I embrace the trace. The dead, they speak their secrets shown. Welcome to the bizarre and the unknown.
I feel their presence in the air, in the walls.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Czar and the Unknown. I'm your host, D.D. Testerman, and we have our special guest today, Miss Jessica, the Cryptid Huntress Jones. How's it going, Jessica?
Hey, Eric. I'm good. How are you? Good to see
Busier than a
you.
hick. Yeah, good to see you. I'm busier than a hiccup today. I
Yeah.
lost track of time, forgot to eat, started getting dizzy, and realized I didn't have no food, so I had to run to the store real
Oh,
quick.
no.
Hey, Muriel. So I was running a little behind today, so I got some food in me though.
Oh,
But,
that's good. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I just-
Sundays are always busy. Seems like we're always trying to get things, it's usually my day off. So, getting my kid ready for school and stuff, and catching up on sleep. That's a big one. I haven't been sleeping a lot lately.
I haven't
And,
either.
since my kid went back to school, and I'm exhausted, man. I'm so tired.
Yeah, I was up
But,
for like almost 40 hours the other day. Got 8 hours of sleep, and then I think I've got maybe 4 hours of sleep last night. And so I'm trying to get writing done. It's the busy time of the year for me, so I'm running around like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, and
Oh no.
budget meetings and work and everything else. It's busy. Hey, or so. So today's topic, we got a good topic. You and me have kind of hit on this a little bit throughout some of the shows we've done together. And we're looking at the connection between Bigfoot, supernatural, and paranormal. There's been a lot of instances that's been reported where paranormal activity or supernatural activity has been associated around Bigfoot. And I have my theories, you have your theories. So that's why I kind of like this. I think this is going to be a fun topic to talk about because I believe there is a type of connection, but my view can be completely different than most anybody else's. So, Hey, Muriel. So before we jump into that, how's your investigations been going? You've been getting a lot of good ones in lately?
Yeah, well, trying to think. I mean, the last investigation I went on was not too far from where I live, actually, up in Northwest Georgia, and I got called over to a family's farm, actually, where they're having a lot of activity. It turns out, I think they've got dogmen and Bigfoot and probably some other stuff going on out there. Shapeshifters, mind speaks going on. I mean, all sorts of things. Portals, little people. I mean, the woman's actually seen these things, and yeah, just strange things. I'm thinking it's like trickster spirits and stuff, but definitely like flesh and bone mixed with the paranormal aspect for sure. But yeah, it's just in an area where we're having a lot of dogman sightings right now, and there's always been Bigfoots. I mean, there's always been Bigfoots. Actually, I've got a book around here somewhere. A family, this was back in the early 2000s, I think, a family in this area wrote a book about their Bigfoot encounters at their home. Yeah, I found this was on my grandmother's coffee table a few years ago, and she let me borrow it. And I still have it, but yeah, it was yeah. I mean, this place is very well known for cryptid encounters up here in Georgia, and it's really wild because I keep coming across these videos and all these people's research of tunnels and caverns and cave systems and miners that were mining. We're very rich in gold in this area, okay, and there were miners back in the day in like the 1800s, early 1900s who were, digging into the mountains, and they were coming across these like caves that were like cavern systems that were built by a civilization way before us. And they've been covered up by the railroad companies and stuff, cemented over with the openings and things like that. I mean, there's like an active cover up for like our true history we have out here. So, so I don't know. I think that may have something to do with these cryptids and stuff. Maybe while they're here, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe the gold.
It could be something that stirred them up with all that going on.
True.
That is definitely a possibility on that. So I can see that. I noticed I didn't know till yesterday. I was on the phone with Roxanne. We were talking about one of my books that I'm working on right now. Actually, I did a live on it Friday. It's been a while since I've done a writer's workshop. I only did about an hour because I was so tired. That was the day I was up for about dang near 40 hours. But I noticed that my window here was pushed in. I've got a window. So my windows, you can take them out so you can clean them. And this was pushed in, and I was trying to figure out why it was always hot in my office here and why I was getting all these wasps. And then I found it yesterday. And interesting enough, that's where that pathway I said I've got here outside my window, where all them stuff was broken down, leading right up to my window. Yeah. So, I mean, and I have to be honest, we've had storms. Could a storm done it? Possibly. These things are hard to put in and take out. So, I mean, it would have to be damn near tornadic winds to push that in like it did. And I'm still dealing with that. Hey, Gary. But yeah, so I was like, well, here I got a path leading up to my window, and now I've got my window pushed in, and it's up top where the locks are that keeps it in there. And so I had to fight the wasp and everything else to get that window pushed back in. Hey, Sam. Yeah. So with that being said, so many of you know that's been watching me for a while, and I've got a lot of new subscribers. And shout out to every single one of them. You guys are awesome. I've had a lot of dealings with Bigfoot, and to me, they are definitely creatures of nature. So they're going to be more connected with the Fae. I also believe that they have a basically, I guess you can call it a soul. So when they pass on, we have ghosts that's left over. When we pass on, why wouldn't they? So this is why I want to kind of bring this around on this topic here, because a lot of you guys that's been watching me for a while know I do not believe Bigfoot is banging on trees, and there's multiple reasons why I do not believe they're banging on trees. You know, scientifically, physically, there's no evidence of them doing that because there would be damaged trees. Number two is they know more about the Fae than we do. Hey, Muriel. So they know that if they knock on a tree without asking assistance of the Fae, then they're going to get harassed. So I don't see them going around knocking on trees because of that. So we'll start off on the supernatural side of it. So with given those kind of ideas in your head, I don't want to get in too depth yet because I kind of want to hear your side of it too. What is your feelings on Bigfoot and their ties with the supernatural elements? I mean, there's good and bad and supernatural. They're let's be honest.
I mean, I think they're connected. I mean, I don't know. Everything that I have ever experienced is there's a lot of things that are just unexplainable with them, and they're definitely not all just flesh and bone. But I mean, humans are supernatural too, so it's not like it's that like crazy to think. You know, some of us have some pretty extraordinary capabilities and abilities, like extra human capabilities and stuff that everybody's capable of doing, but not everybody knows how to tap into this stuff. You know, and that's the same with Bigfoot and all these other cryptids, as they have abilities that maybe some of us have some of these same abilities. You know, we just don't know how to access it. I mean, we've been under complete oppression by the powers that be for so long that people have forgotten who they are and what they can do. You know.
Oh yeah.
So maybe it has something to do with that, but there's definitely something paranormal. We call it the X factor on my research teams. It's like the X factor, and that can include like cloaking or people think they're accessing portals or something, or I mean, it's just there's a whole bunch of different things that the Bigfoots do. I mean, I'll just use Bigfoot as an example, I guess. And most of it has to do with like being right in front of you and you just don't see them. And that doesn't necessarily even have to be paranormal or supernatural. That could just be that our eyes can't perceive them, like, because we have human eyesight. And it's just out of our light spectrum range, you know. So there's that. Yeah.
And that's a good point, because, you know, so many cultures talk about these abilities that we used to have. You know, we used to be able to fly around. We used to be able to move things with our mind. There was so many things that goes on this level that we used to be able to do that we're told is all mythological stuff. It never happened. That's just a barbaric way of thinking. You know, people, no, I mean, and some of the most well-documented people that still notate this today is the Asian people. You know, in China and Japan and Korea and Vietnam, they still to this day notate this stuff very much of going on, and all the supernatural stuff that they deal with over there. You know, I spent time in mainland Japan, Okinawa, Japan, and Kyushu, Japan. Now I'm going to probably get some hate because Okinawans don't like to be called Japanese. They're Okinawans, but they are a provenance of Japan. That's why I say that. You know, I spent time there, so I know how mad they get when you call them Japanese. We're not Japanese, we're Okinawans. Sorry. You know, I'm just a dumb American. You know, but you know, they notate this all this time, and they put it in their videos of things they can do. Like they can almost float on air, like walking on treetops, doing great height jumps at great heights, and all this other stuff that you wouldn't think a human could possibly do. But it's not just them who's talking about it. So, you know, when you talk about humans and supernatural, to a degree, I agree, because we have abilities of doing these things. We just forgot. And so, you know, when it comes to that, you know, our ancestors were extremely tied to the supernatural field. They were tied to the paranormal field too. Hey, Ice. Oh, we lost her. We'll wait till she gets back. Judy chop, Amy. Judy chop. There's still a lot of poo throwers still in humidity. Best till we develop something Earth communicating. Yeah. We accidentally lost her. We'll wait for her to get back in here. But so as we're waiting, guys, make sure that you put all your questions in caps when we get her back. And hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. And make sure I'm not missing anybody here. But man, it's getting hot in here again. Even got the fan on. So with I couldn't help on the Judy chop, Amy. With that being said, I want you guys to think about this, because this is a very, very controversial topic. A lot of people believe Bigfoot are supernatural. I do not. I absolutely do not believe they're supernatural. There are definitely flesh and blood. I think what people see as the supernatural side of it ain't so much Bigfoot as it's something mimicking Bigfoot to gain fear so they can gain that power. I'll be honest with you. I do not believe Bigfoot goes invisible. I believe that most of them, except for their medicine men, do not use portals. That's just my beliefs. And they have abilities that we have lost. Yes. Extracting, trying to keep focus. We can't do our purpose. Yeah. Well, they do have abilities that we've lost. Yes, all cryptids are flesh and blood. I believe what's not, that's the supernatural field. We really need to get back into thinking about that, Sandman, because it's too easy to put things into the two categories that they don't belong, because that's what sells. That's what gets clicks. Dryads, yeah, knocking, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I was talking about, Caleb, exactly. And that's the thing, is we put so many things in these categories of cryptids, and they really shouldn't be in that category. I mean, I can see where people like, oh, well, we think these things exist because they're that's why we call them cryptids, and that's the term of cryptid. Yeah, I get that. I can see that. I just think a little differently than most, because I was like, man, we know these things are supernatural, so why are we classifying them as cryptid when they're absolutely supernatural, and they're talked about throughout history and all these different cultures. Oh, she has. Yeah, that was a good video. I think we shared that on here, didn't we? Didn't we share that on the Campfire Chat show one time? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are, Amiriel. I'm just not, because I've seen too much stuff for me to see that side of it. I mean, literally, I've seen videos of these things stopping and disappearing, and people's like, they're cloaking. No, it's called adaptive camouflage. They stop moving. Everything in wildlife can do it. I can even do that. When I wear my camo, I can disappear once I stop moving. I'm not turning invisible. I'm adapting to my camouflage is adapting to my surrounding, and that's why I'm on that point of view. I don't know how many times I've had deer walk up to me and they're 10 feet away, and I didn't hear them, and I didn't know they were there until they moved. Hey, Tanya, yeah, she got kicked off again. We're waiting on her to get back in. Hey, Blackie. I think maybe supernatural, but they leave footprints and any other physical signs. Possibly, but most of your supernatural stuff don't leave footprints. Think about your big W's, which is a physical form of a supernatural because it's a possession. They're not even known to leave footprints. Yeah, Gary, I have too. I literally have. I've had them literally walk up within 5 to 10 feet of me, and I didn't even know they were there until they moved. They're like us, but they can do more. Yeah, I mean, they can definitely do things. I mean, just like the portal situation. I'm sorry, but if they had the portal abilities, why would they be tearing through our house to get to us when they can just portal right in? I hope she's okay. Says it messaged me back. Hope she didn't lose her internet. But that's why I'm kind of on that deal there, because so these things are known to mate with humans and have offspring. So if they're supernatural, how they have an offspring? You know, people call giants Nephilims. Nephilims were a type of giant. They weren't giants. Not all giants are Nephilim. They're physical. They truly are physical, and they can breed with us too. The theory that there are many types of different abilities is the answer I've heard. There is, and we all have a lot of these similar abilities too. We just forgot how to use them. You know, I've given examples on stuff I've done on, I've had happen in my life or seen in my life that's definitely within that spectrum, and not everybody can do it. Some people have protection on walls and considerate grounds, consecrated grounds within the home. Also have a guardian within the premises. Yeah. You can have guardians with you. You sure? I could have swore we played that on the Campfire Chats one day when you sent it to me. Or was it I couldn't? Hey, Wyatt. Or was it because I couldn't get it uploaded? And it may be because I couldn't get it uploaded. So. Yeah, if that's the case or so, the people who don't, they'd be able to get in there. Oh, her computer froze up. Okay. As soon as she gets her computer unfroze, she'll be back on. But I mean, I can see your logic on that side of it or so, but not everybody does that. I don't do that. And they don't portal in here. Dog's tagging you. VK is so underground, no one's seen it. PK. Trying to remember think what PK is. Okay, Roxanne. Give me a second here. I've got to pull up this other thing. It's probably going to jack with my feed while I pull it up. Yeah. But I got to pull up this other thing, so it's probably going to jack with my feed because I got to pull it up on this other screen because I won't be able to show it from my phone. And my phone's not connected to the streaming platform, so I won't be able to share it that way. Come on, man. Plus indigenous paraphernalia. Oh, psychokinetic. Yeah. Psychic kineticus. Yeah, I can't even speak today. Yeah, I mean, a lot of us have that ability, and some of us can do that stuff today. I mean, and they're considered freaks. They're usually kept quiet, but absolutely, there's some of us that can still do that to this day. We're just very far and few in between because, um, we've been programmed not to believe in it or be able to do it. Okay, so I'm going to have to do it this way. Copy. I've got to download it so I can upload it. Now I've got to convert it from a Facebook deal to a PDF or to a file, the MP4 file, so I can upload it on here so that I can play it on here. Come on. Yeah, there's a lot in that video. I'm almost done here. Hey, welcome back.
Hey, sorry about that. That's
No,
weird.
it happens. I mean, I had technical difficulties when we were supposed to originally do this show. I mean, it happens.
Yeah,
I'm
everything that could possibly go wrong just went wrong there, and I couldn't get back on here. So
no worries, no worries. I'm getting ready to upload a video from Roxanne shared on a ghost of a Bigfoot that we'll play later on. I was just converting everything over.
okay.
Converting everything over. I could have swore I've showed it on the show before, but she says I didn't. So I was like, that's good evidence for when we get to the paranormal side of it. Okay. Make sure I didn't miss nobody in the comments here. But yeah, we were kind of talking about, abilities that we could do and Bigfoot could do. And, the difference between, like, I don't believe Bigfoot is supernatural without a doubt. They're flesh and blood. But I believe there's entities that mimic Bigfoot. And I think that's where the confusion of Bigfoot being supernatural is because they're being mimicked by these things that focus on fear and feed off of fear. And that's why, one of the biggest things, you and me's talked about this before too, about the difference between actually glowing eyes and reflective eyes. And, and I think that's a big difference between the flesh and blood and the supernatural ones we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sandman wants to know please, from now on, people, please put your comments in caps so I know it's an actual question because I may overlook it. This chat does fly from time to time. So make sure all your questions are in caps. But Sandman wants to know, what does Jessica think Bigfoot is?
Well, I don't know. I think they're. I don't know what they are. I don't know. You're asking the wrong person that one. Okay, because I think that they could be. I mean, they're like a flesh and bone creature, and they're also could be some sort of a ancient being that's been here all along, or they could be alien to this planet. Like I don't know. The more that I get out in the field and I research, the less I know. So I really don't know. Listen, everybody's got their own opinion on that one. I stay neutral on it because I really don't know what they are. I think they're like people, though. I think I oftentimes equate them to kind of like being human. They're very similar to us. But But they're also, I think there's some that can be animalistic too. But people can be animalistic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know some people that act like animals sometimes. Okay, so there are people that will eat other humans and stuff like that. So it's I don't know what they are.
There's still cannibalistic tribes to this day.
Yeah.
There absolutely is. I mean, there's islands we were never allowed to go on, and they're protected by a country because they're still cannibalistic. They will absolutely eat you. So, I mean, that stuff happens, and you're right. I mean, I've talked about this with Bigfoot and Dogman quite often. Hey, Ryan, there's good ones and there's bad ones. There's some that won't mess with you, and some that will just straight jack your world up, and some that just likes to harass you because, well, they're a-holes. They're just like humans when it comes to that. I mean, we're no different. I did a show a while back about Neanderthal, and it was based off the recent archaeological study of Neanderthals. And this is something that's been theorized for a long time, but because of the people who had mainstream Neanderthal was still alive, they wasn't allowed to get their information out. And then with the recent archaeological studies, these guys that mainstreamed it are now no longer in this. There's no longer on Midgard with us. They're now getting this information out there, and it talks about how Bigfoot was bigger, wider, stronger, faster, hairier, and smarter than we originally thought. And that's why I said, could Bigfoot be the last remnants of Neanderthal? Because everything that's talked about with Bigfoot is talked about with these Neanderthals. A lot of archaeological study has backed a lot of this stuff up. And that's why I say, especially the humanistic looking ones, are they the hybrids between Bigfoot and humans? Because it's very widely documented about, Bigfoot's mating with humans and having offspring. Or are these the ones that's the last remnants of Neanderthal? Most of your native people will tell you Bigfoot is the elder big brother. They're one of the first beings, the same as Dogman, which fits a lot of with that stuff, if that's the case. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I have a lot of wild theories. Heck yeah, Amy.
There's so many different types of Bigfoot too. It's like there's some that look more human, and those are probably the ones you're referring to, the Neanderthal ones. Those are like the wild men, type 4, I think. What they call them. They're categorized as type 4 Sasquatch. But I think that's what a lot of people are gonna. I think that's what they were talking about back in the day when the newspapers used to run articles about the wild men that were found in the 1800s and early 1900s. I think a lot of those were more like human Sasquatch hybrids, kind of like those type 4s or something. That's what I think.
And in the fact, most of your instances are with these human-looking Bigfoot. There's actually more reports of them than there is of actually the Harry the Henderson style. Or the Patterson Gimlin one, Patty. If that's the case, I mean, my theory on that would be, okay, they still have a lot of humanistic characters to them because one of their parents was obviously human, if they're a hybrid, and they want that connection with the humanity because they're part human. And so is that why we're seeing more of a visualization with them than we are the other style? I don't know, but it's a possibility. I mean, human nature, we're pack animals. We want to be in packs. We're just kind of stubborn, hard-headed, and a-holes at time, and we're very selective on our pack, I guess you can say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We were just, I feel like we were talking about this last night on my show. I feel like it.
I think you were.
I think I talk about Bigfoot on all my shows.
I can't remember that. Was that last night or the other day?
Well, we were talking about Bigfoot we were actually talking about urban Bigfoot last night. And talking about like we got into a whole bunch of different conversations, but we were talking about mostly urban Bigfoot and Dogman, like being seen around cities and towns, and even like rummaging through dumpsters and things like that, and being in people's backyards. But that's kind of what the majority of all these reports are, that we're getting. Even the investigation that I did the other day was on a farm, so it's kind of rural, but yeah. it's really wild, especially with these dogman reports and stuff. A lot of them are actually being seen in the cities, especially up around in Ohio. And then he was up in, my guest last night was from Michigan. So
Oh, is that it? I missed a part.
Mhm.
I lost track of time and missed like the first 30 minutes of your show because I couldn't remember where he was from.
Oh yeah, he's from Michigan. Yeah, he's from Michigan. That was cool. It was Scott Brush was my guest last night. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's a pretty cool researcher actually. He's been doing it for about 30 years, he said. So I think that I don't know. I mean, I think that I mean, we even got into like biblical talk last night and stuff, when it comes to Bigfoot. And maybe like some biblical connections to what Bigfoot is and where they came from, and the Nephilim and all that kind of stuff. Those are always interesting and very interesting conversations to have.
And they are, because I mean that brings up a very good point. Most of your Native American tribes will tell you that these things are the first beings, right? So they've been around as long or just as long as the Fae. Take the Fae for instance, or some of these other supernaturals. The sky beings, whatever side of the spectrum you want to go on. Jinn. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Angels, demons, stuff like that. They would have been the only ones around before humans, and that could be their connection with the supernatural thing. They've lived with these things for a lot longer than humans have. They've got a stronger connection and a stronger bond with them. That's just something I think about sometimes when I think about this, because that would make sense. If our native ancestors are correct about that, then that would fit in there because they coexisted together. Like the Jinn, they're known to live here and before humans came, and that's why they're so aggressive towards humans, because humans was allowed to remain here and they got put in a different realm, a different dimension. So they have anger and hostilities. Then and it goes right towards, if you want to go on the biblical side of it, that fits along the lines of what the Jinn are with angels and fallen. The fallen and the not fallen angels. Some of them resented us because we were favored above them. It's the same outlook, just called something different. And that's why, if these things were around during this time, that these things roam the earth more prevalent than they do now, they would have that connection with them because they know it. That stuff gets passed down. They don't get forgotten. They're not subjugated to the boob tube and mainstream education like we are. Hey, William, they would still pass this down. They would still be taught to their young ones on, this is what you do, this is what you don't do, this is how you approach, this is how you don't approach. These are the ones you can talk to. These are the ones you can't. These ones will help you. These ones will help you, but they may play a trick on you later. They're going to know that stuff way better than we do. Hey, Kevin. And that's just my thinking on it. That's kind of where I'm at on it. I don't know if that's something you've ever thought about, but I do a lot of that research and a lot of stuff I experience, and that's kind of where my mind goes on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm sorry, I just got distracted because my
You're
son
good.
just came in. Sorry, I got a little distracted here.
That's no worries.
I had to hit the mute button because my dog was being loud too. So I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. Reports seem to show there's a lot of liar cryptids. Trying to remember what those are. I've heard that before, and I don't remember what that is. But this is the type of stuff that William and I talk about quite often too. On this side of it. And before I forget, we won't be doing, being we have a guest today, we won't be doing a commercial unless Jessica just needs to take a break. So Roxanne's just going to be plugging the feeds in the chat throughout the night of the people we sponsor on here. In case anybody wonders, right now there's no planned commercial today because we have a special guest. I forgot to say that in the beginning of the show, and just dawned on me about that because I was looking at the time. But so when you think about this, so I've told you about things I've seen. We're dealing with the supernatural side. I had that big orb, softball size orb that came flying at me Thought it was going to hit me in the chest. And William says, nice Tucker hat. He's talking about your hat.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
You're good.
I'm not watching the chat. I get too distracted when I watch the chat stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep a healthy balance here, but it gets to be
Thanks, William.
it gets to be kind of fun. But I had that instance that happened out here. I've had trees with human faces on it, which is the ones they tell you that the dryads live in. You definitely don't knock on a tree that's got human faces on it. And I've been on Bigfoot investigations where I've seen that all over this world. It's not just here in the United States. I've literally seen this stuff all over the world. And every culture talks about these trees with faces in them. We know it from the Celtic mythology, which is the dryads, part of the Fae. But in other cultures, they're known as something else.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Trees are alive, though, right? Like, I mean, if you I've seen trees reach out and touch people before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I could have swore they've done that to me. I can't prove it. But I've had that feeling. It's like, man, I know that branch wasn't close to me. What's it doing? Rubbing my shoulder now? Is it trying to get frisky? What's going on here? You can't help but think that when you have that happen to you. But it's only happened like maybe once or twice. I mean, I clear, like when I'm my tree stand, I clear up limbs where I have an open sight because I'm too old and fat to be running around on the ground and moving slow to hunt deer from the ground anymore. So my butt's up in a tree stand. So, hey, Mary, give me a second. But dude, it's hot. You don't need to be in my lap. It's hot. It's like really, really hot here, Bubba's. Yes, I know. No. It's like really hot though, dude. I just lost my train of thought because Snow wouldn't leave me alone. He's like, I gotta be in your lap.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
Yeah, he's my little buddy. So he's been very, very clingy here today. Come on, bro. You can't rip my microphone cord out or my earphone cord out. No, you're just gonna have to be careful, Bubba. So I've had instances like that. Like I've seen a ghoul. I've talked about that when I was in Cobb Spiker on Iraq, my 4th tour in Iraq. When I was out on ECP. ECP is entry control point. And in the middle of the night, one of the times I was doing a night shift, I'd literally seen a tall, skinny, gaunt creature crossing from one end of my ECP to the other in between my paws and the paws before me. And, I've seen this type of stuff. All over the world, I've seen this type of stuff. So, these things are real. They're without a doubt. I'm a believer in them. They're real. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get back up here to this question. I almost missed it because it wasn't in caps.
What do you think? Do you think that was a pill crawler or something?
I think it was a ghoul, especially because of where I was in Iraq, where it says ghouls. A ghoul is a type of jinn, and that's something interesting. If you actually study a pill crawler, you study a ghoul, and you study the big W, there's a lot of similarities. There's differences too. A big W is a possession. So, I mean, there's definitely differences, and there's different, like a big W, it's got to be cold. It's got to be, there's certain stipulations to it. Unlike the ghoul and the pill crawler, there ain't, but there's a lot of similarities to them too. So are they two different entities, or are they an entity that's just an offshoot of another entity? I don't know. I mean, it's something definitely worth looking into. Mary, if you could put your question back in in the cap locks, because I can't. This chat's moving too fast, and I'm not finding it. I know you had a question in here somewhere. I'd appreciate it, so that way I can get to it again. I don't know if there it is. Never mind, I found it. Mary has a question. It says, would Bigfoot be related to the Fae? I'll let you answer first. I've got to get caught up on this comment while you answer, and then I'll give you my 2 cents on it.
I don't know. I mean, it depends. I mean, there's all different types of Bigfoots, I guess. But, I mean, I personally don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, they absolutely could be, but I'm going to say I think no, but I don't know for sure. So, I don't know, Eric. What do you think?
I do not. I really do not. There's nothing in historical documentation or anything like that that would suggest that they are related. Fae is definitely supernatural, where cryptids are flesh and blood. Bigfoot's flesh and blood. So I personally, just in my opinion, I do not believe they are.
The Fae, couldn't they shapeshift into looking like a Bigfoot though?
So Fae can shapeshift. You're absolutely right. Most of your supernatural things can shapeshift, without a doubt. So I mean, if it's a type of Fae that feeds off of fear, and they know this person feeds off of fear, they absolutely can transform into a Bigfoot creature. So people forget, Faes is what we call nowadays demons. That's your Fae. We just know them as Fae because that's from Celtic mythology, and a lot of our ancestors in the United States here are of the Celtic religion. So that's why for us it is, we know them as Fae. But let's be honest, if you study them and you study it, everything has a different name from another country, another culture. So for us to be Fae, but for somebody else it could be demons, it could be angels, it could be good spirits, it could be bad spirits, it could be tricksters, it could be all that stuff. We just call them Fae because that's what we're used to, especially our area, like where you and I live and been around. That's very much a Celtic area. So a lot of your Celtic mythology came from back in them lands, and that's why look at the Appalachians. Prime example, a lot of Celtic mythology in the Appalachians. A lot of them people were Irish. They were Celtic or Scottish and stuff like that. Hey, Monisha. So I'm trying to make sure the chat's popping, and I love this. Yeah, Sammy, you're right. 100%. No one's seen Bigfoot drive a car. Nope, they definitely have not.
Not good.
Hey, Tanya, no. That's what people need to know, the difference between. Yeah, that's kind of what we're hitting on a little bit today, William. There is a huge difference. He had something else dealing with what we was talking about a minute ago, and I've lost it. My chat's starting to act up because I'm popping them up on my screen, but looks like I have seen Fae on Bigfoot shoulders. I've had Fae around me during the show. I've had elementals. Elementals can be considered a Fae. I've had them around me. That's not uncommon. If you do something right, they're known to protect people. They're known to be around people. They're known to aid people, and so you have to keep that in mind when it comes to these things. If you have an elemental or even a Fae that graces you with them, that is a huge honor because they trust you enough and they respect you enough because of what you've done, that they'll be around you to aid you. So you have to keep that in mind. Man, I'm sorry. William, you had something in there when we was talking about ghouls and the big W, and the chat's moving too much and I keep losing it. Fairies are considered Fae, but not all fairies are bad. It's just like anything else dealing with the supernatural realm. You're right, Gary. They are. And it depends on what culture you come from, if fairies are Fae or if fairies are something else too. A lot of people forget that. There's more than one type of fairy. It's not just in the Fae Celtic mythology. Other countries talk about fairies too, but they're described as being a separate entity than what we consider them to be. So, and that's why, when we talk about these things, because you've talked several times, Jessica, about you've been on investigations and you've seen these orbs around Bigfoot, and that's when I posed you. Could that be a partial manifestation of a paranormal Bigfoot, or could that be Fae? Because it absolutely could be one of those two things. And I was thinking about that when I thought about you for the show.
Yeah, so we oftentimes do get a lot of orbs out there. It's kind of a constant. There's a lot of orbs out in the field. But there's been a couple of times where I have seen like orange orbs like shoot through the trees, and then all of a sudden there's like a a growl and a huff really loud, like right in front of me, right where that orb had just, shot in front of me. And so, and of course, like, turn my flashlight on immediately to make sure there's not a bear right in front of me, just to double check, because it's a little crazy when that stuff happens. But I never thought about it being a fairy or anything. Like, that's not even, I've never really thought about that very much. Like, Bigfoot's enough for me out there. Do you know what I mean? And trying to, to me, it was just a Bigfoot. It's just a Bigfoot. Maybe that's just the way I don't know. Maybe they're opening portals, or maybe they're like shifting into something. I don't know. Listen, Eric, my life has gotten so crazy lately, and I've been thinking so deep into this stuff. I don't even know if any of it's real anymore.
Dude, it's like, a mind blower.
It's a simulation, man. I don't know. Like, everything I've experienced up to now is just weird. It's crazy. So, I don't know.
Well, you know about pixies, right? You know what pixies are?
I'm familiar with them. Yes.
Yeah,
fairies and pixies and the fae are like not my expertise. So like, I don't really know a lot about them, but I like hearing about them.
So pixies is a type of fairy in the fae folklore. Okay. There is other types of pixies too, but the most common one we know of, and we think about Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell was a pixie. Okay. They are a type of fairy that when they're usually seen, they're mistaken as a firefly.
Oh.
Because that's how they show. They show up as a ball of light a lot of times. So, I mean, that's something like I've always questioned that to people, especially because I remember being a kid catching fireflies, rubbing their butts, ripping their butts off, rubbing on me so I could glow. A lot of us did that when we were younger, or just catch them to catch them.
Yeah.
So
I love fireflies. We actually see it at the meadow where we do some of our research. There's been like nights we're out there and it's just full. There's fireflies everywhere. It's almost like supernatural. There's so many fireflies. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, but it's also really odd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of made me wonder, like, is there something else going on out here? Like, there's an unusually large amount of fireflies everywhere.
Yeah.
Weird.
And that makes you, I'm going to have to stop popping stuff up because it's jacking with my chat. Amy says, I didn't do that. Amy, sure. I saved them too. I love them. I still, to this day, get mesmerized seeing fireflies. But you have to question yourself, is it actually fireflies we're slaying, or is it pixies and fireflies, or is it just pixies? So, I mean, that's something we have to take into consideration when we're doing this type of stuff. Now, I look back when I was a kid doing what I did going, crap, that was a butthole thing for me to do.
Yeah. Did you say you were picking the lights off their butts? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, because their butts glow. So we used to pick their butts off and rub it on us to make us glow and run around the woods and we'd glow.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was in the Marines.
Boy behavior. It's typical, I guess, but that's terrible.
Yeah, we used to do that. A lot of us country folks have done that. In the Marines, we would have, every time we do our last training mission before we go on deployment, we have what's called Viking night, the very last night of our training. And that's literally where we partied, ate, and celebrated like Vikings. And we used to take glow sticks and pop them open and spread it all over us and went around glowing like Mr. Burns on The Simpsons when he got his treatments.
My God.
Yeah.
Like you're radiating or something.
Oh, man. Yeah, we used to have fun. Yeah. Muriel says orbs are the Merkabus of the Sasquatch, correct or no? I'm trying
I have no idea.
Muriel, can you? I'm trying to think of what you're talking about on that.
I know what a Merkaba is. It could be.
What's a Merkabus?
A Merkaba, think about it, it's like the triangles that are upside down. If I do the hand symbol, I'm going to look like I'm Illuminati or something. Okay. So I can't do that. Yeah, it's, yeah, I don't know. You have to just look it up.
And yeah, if it's something like that, I can't see that being a part of the Sasquatch community. I could be wrong. I mean, they use symbols. I mean, they intertwine limbs to make symbols. They make circles out of limbs. They make nests. I've shown stuff that they've made that you'd swear. I call it a nursery for baby Bigfoot because you'd have to be small to put in there, but it was obviously woven and put to the ground and woven together to hold something small. Well, an animal's not going to do that. To me, that's right along one of the major hunting trails I have on my property that I get a lot of Bigfoot evidence on. I'm sorry, I was lost in my chat here. They make stuff like that. So can they use symbols? Yeah, they can use symbols. Is it tied to the Fae? I don't know. A Merkaba is a sacred geometric symbol and spiritual concept, meaning a divine. I just lost it. Divine chariot of light that unites the body, spirit, and mind. Thank you, Amy. Could I don't know enough about that. Hey, honest. I don't know. I can't. I don't have a good enough answer. I don't know enough about it to have a good answer. I know they use symbols. I can tell you that much. I've seen too much of that on my property. I've seen that too much around the world for me not to believe they don't use symbols. I thought I'd seen something here, but it wasn't in caps, and I've lost it. Honest. Or was it for a child? It was. Snow could fit in it comfortably, but anything bigger than him would not. That's why I was thinking it was probably for a baby. Considering it was long a hunting trail, considering this is where I get a lot of family group footprints from. This is where I've had a lot of X formations, and I've had other stuff done where that peanut butter jar was cleaned out that we put out during that documentary. This was all in that area. I don't know. I mean, I would have to say baby just because, like I said, snow can get in there. And, this is the size of snow. He can get in there pretty comfortably, but anything bigger than him wouldn't be able to get in there. So I hope that answers your question, both you guys. Sorry on the Marcubus thing. I'm not as educated on that as some people. Your theory of Bigfoot could be from Neanderthal. What do you mean on that, Roxanne? Oh, my chat's acting up again. I'm sorry. There it goes. Now it's working. That dog's the size of a cat. Yeah, he's a little bit bigger than a cat. Yeah, Sandman. He's a tiny little dude. He's making me sweat right now because he's got to be on me. It's like I'm a radiator. He's a radiator, and it's hot. There you go. William's got a good answer right there. Anything being made of divine energy or can be seen with orbs, Merkabus, and other light objects. So I can tell you now. I've shown pictures on here of what I think I caught a fairy on my game cam. Hey, Revered. I think I've caught orbs on my game cam. I've caught what we think might be portals on my game cam. I've caught this stuff on my game cams. And so when I'm seeing, especially when it comes to this orb stuff, you're looking at two possibilities. The most common apparition that you're going to see in the paranormal field is going to be an orb. It's a partial manifestation. That is going to be the most common manifestation. And manifestations are rare to find in general. A lot of time, your orbs are not really seen with the naked eye, but they're seen on a camera. But that's going to be like a partial manifestation. Even if you see it with the eyes, it's a partial manifestation. But you got Fae that look like that too. So it's kind of hard to say which way that's going to go. I just seen something in here. Roxanne says if Bigfoot is a Neanderthal from the past, parts of them could. Some types could be. Some, I'm not saying they are. Some types could be. Nayadis, Caleb says, I'm going to jack this up. Nayadis. Oh, come on now. Yeah. Journalist idea, Nick. Come on. Sorry, guys. Anytime I pop this up, it jacks with my chat for some reason. Some days it works good, some days it don't. Revere says Neanderthal is a drownist idea. Sasquatch is reality. That's your opinion. I can't say yay and I can't say nay on that. I've never seen the word, but seen many videos of them. Yep. I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any more questions here. Okay, good. I'm caught up. There ain't no more questions. So, we've talked about an hour about the supernatural side of Bigfoot. Let's talk about the paranormal side of Bigfoot. And I've got a video here that you shared on your show. I could have swore I've shared on this show. Roxanne says I didn't. This is a video that was captured that I believe they captured a ghostly presence of a Bigfoot. And so give me a second and we'll play that in 3, 2, 1.
And jeeping YouTube channel called Voyager Overland captured a strange creature on a trail camera they had set up near one of their Jeeps during an overland trip to Ruby Falls in the Alberta Rockies. They have no idea what was lurking around their Jeeps during the night. I put the original video in the description on our YouTube breakdown video of this. Make sure to go check them out. What has me perplexed is the creature seems translucent at times, perhaps due to motion blur or not enough infrared lights emitted from the camera hitting the subject, or a combination of both. I really do not know. I use game cameras as part of my Bigfoot research. Never seen anything quite like this. I'm running this through.
So, that is definitely something translucent. I can't tell you 100% that's a Bigfoot ghost. Looks like it could be, but it could be something else as well. I don't know. But that is something that I find very interesting because it has some characteristics of Bigfoot, but it's ghostly-like.
That was interesting. Yeah, I couldn't see it very well because I'm on my phone, unfortunately. Oh. So, but I could see it a little bit. It looked like there's some orbs out there too, maybe. Is that what I was seeing?
That was his eyes.
Oh, that was his eyes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, wait, is that the video that I showed on my show the other day of the guy that was I'm convinced that's a human actually. Sorry. And walking around a Jeep. Is that the video you just showed?
Yeah, I was walking around a Jeep. Hey, David.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for some reason I couldn't make out what I was looking at this thing because I'm on my phone and it's only showed part of the screen, I guess. Yeah, that video, that man was saying that he was having some weird stuff going on around his house at night. So we set up that camera out there and it looks like a human walking up. To me, I'm 100% convinced that was a human in like some kind of cloaking technology or something. And it had like nods on or something because the eyes were glowing. And that's what I think that was. I think it was because you can see that it didn't move like a Bigfoot. It moves like a human, in my opinion.
And that's why I'm kind of like, that's why I always said I'm not 100% convinced because I believe it could be too because it has that characteristics. It is rather big. For human, it's rather big. But you're right, the way it moves. But then again, I'm like, okay, is that them speeding the camera up to show this? Is that how it actually moved? I don't know enough about this video to have a really good opinion on it. I just say, it's something translucent. Hey, Corey.
It felt like, to me, it looked like that video was like cut into pieces. I don't know if they sped it up, but they definitely only showed snippets. They put those snippets all together, I think. And so it's not like a fluid video. You know what I mean? It's little snippets that were edited like that. So yeah, I don't know enough about that video either. Some of it was sped up, I think. But who knows? I don't know. But if I'm just like analyzing the body and the size, the portions of it 100% to me, it looks like a human. That's what it's actually kind of even more creepy to me because like, what is a human doing in some kind of cloaking outfit snooping around somebody's house at night?
Or did you catch an apparition?
Maybe could be, but the eyes were glowing.
Yeah, that's
And,
that's what throws me off is the eyes. That's the whole thing that throws me off more than anything about that is the eyes. And so you could be dealing with something supernatural. That's
Mhm.
taking shape of something.
Yeah.
Roxanne said that was a video of the adults with the grandchildren on the camping trip in a different area, and that was the last night of the camping trip. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Those eyes really jacked me up, and that's why I'm saying I just don't know. Looks like a chemical suit on fire, radiation suit with light eyes. Yeah, it's weird as hell. Um, probably my favorite evidence I've ever seen, and to me, I'll say that till the day I die, most likely. I believe was the best evidence ever caught of a ghost Bigfoot was on Expedition Unknown, and where that Josh Gates team was inside that cave, and that was a narrow cave, and they literally caught this Bigfoot figure on thermal, and it got up and walked past him, but he never felt it. If that was flesh and blood and that was a cloaking Bigfoot, that would have knocked him over going past him like he did, and it didn't do it. It just passed by him. To me, that is probably one of the best evidences I've seen when it comes to a ghostly apparition of a Bigfoot. I don't know what you guys think. That's my opinion on that, because that's a tight cave. And I'm sorry, that Bigfoot, you would have felt it, you would have heard it, and he would have knocked that guy. I can't remember his name. It would have knocked him over.
Yeah, we picked up a giant on the SLS cam one day, and we were at that S Walker cave in Tennessee, and it was at night. And I'd set up my REM pod out there in front of the opening of the cave, and we had a bonfire out in front of it, and we're kind of sitting around the bonfire and had our chairs pulled up around it, and the cave. I mean, there's a big opening to the cave, but the lady who lived on the property, she had an SLS camera, or she had like the app on her phone, I think. So it was like an app on her cell phone. But she was filming the cave entrance, and a giant, like a literal giant, came crawling out of the cave, and it was like scaling the wall, and it had two little ones with it, like little things. They were stick figures on the SLS camera. And the big one actually looked like it had horns on its head or something. It was weird the way it was like a stick figure with like horns.
Wow,
it was crazy. And but we were thinking, like, is this like some kind of spirit, maybe like a giant or a Bigfoot, or is it just like some kind of interdimensional being or something, or can we just not see it with our eyes? You know what I mean? Is it just out of light spectrum? I mean, something was taking her chickens out of her yard, out of her chicken coop, and taking them into that cave, but they weren't leaving footprints, so they were scaling the walls. Or it was just supernatural. And so that kind of showed me that they're probably scaling the walls, and it's whatever this thing is right here, which is like supernatural, but it was able to go in there and get her chickens in the 3-dimensional reality that we live in. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
They wanted some chicken fingers.
Chicken fingers, tater balls, right?
Yeah, I know. I remember you talking about that, and that's kind of interesting. I mean, I personally haven't seen that LiDAR footage, so I mean, I can just go off of what you've said on it, and I mean, it makes you wonder because I agree, they absolutely could have caught something supernatural, and if it's killing chickens and eating them, then that's going to lead me more towards the supernatural side of it than the paranormal, because the paranormal don't eat things, but supernatural does.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was weird. But that was the first time I ever questioned, like, oh wow, are Bigfoot ghosts? Do they have ghosts? Yeah, another layer to the mystery.
And so another thing that I find interesting is people like to take EVP sessions when they're Bigfooting, and they get EVP hits. Now, I've done this on this show. I've taken an EVP to multiple places and got hits no matter where I was. And it's something I've always said. We're surrounded by paranormal activity. Day, night, morning, evening, don't matter where you are. You're surrounded by paranormal activity. And so, I mean, it makes sense when you find that stuff. Now, when you get certain voices that sounds weird on these EVP hits, that's when I question, are you getting the ghostly sounds of a Bigfoot? So if a Bigfoot is very much like us, which obviously, I mean, it's documented that they are because we can have offspring with them, so they're like us. We know that we can capture some of the dead on these things, on camera, on EVP, on video and stuff like that. If that's the case for us, why wouldn't it be for Bigfoot? That's just my opinion on that. And I think some of these times when you run into this stuff, that it's not supernatural, but it's paranormal dealing with them as well. So, you know, like I was saying earlier with the orbs, that absolutely could be a possibility for some of these orbs that are known or widely talked about around Bigfoot is those are partial apparitions of their deceased loved ones. I don't know what you think on that.
It could be. It could be anything. You know, I have zero answers for that, but I think it could be. I guess that is my answer.
Yeah, yeah. It's an interesting concept. I mean, I've seen some weird stuff out here. I mean, I've seen and all over this world. I first started believing in the paranormal version of Bigfoot. Probably it was somewhere around my early to mid 20s because of something I experienced in the jungles of Japan. When I was out there in the well, not the jungles, the woods of Japan, bamboo forest and stuff like that. Thing else I experienced over there. I guess you can call it a jungle, but there's too many things I've seen that I was like, man, that looked like a Bigfoot, but I could see through it. And that's kind of where my theory on this started coming from, was that experience over there in Japan. And I'm wanting to say it was it might be Okinawa, but I'm thinking it's either mainland Japan or Okinawa where this happened at, because I love woods. So no matter what country I'm at, if there's woods, my butt's in them woods. That's where I feel at home. That's my place of zen, is being out in the woods of nature. So it was either Okinawa or it was mainland. I don't think it was Kyushu because I didn't have time to go in the woods of Kyushu. But when I was over there, I seen something like that. And that's always made me question, could that be a apparition of a Bigfoot I just saw? I mean, I've had something here that looked very much like a Bigfoot, but it was shadowy, but it wasn't see-through. And with the light condition and everything it absolutely could have been a Bigfoot that was darkened, because it was darker in my woods than it was on my porch that went running through my woods. And that was a couple days before I got that thermal hit next to my drive. Same location. So to me, I'd say that was probably more physical than it was paranormal. But I can't leave out the paranormal side of it because it was very shadowy.
Yeah, well, also there's the whole aspect of them like moving faster than us and vibrating on a different vibrational level, frequency than us, and so that's one of those things too. Like, is that supernatural to us? It's supernatural to them. It's normal. You know, they're just moving a little different than we are, and it makes them look like they're a blur. You know, like blurring out. I mean, there's been plenty of cases of dogmen, especially dogmen and Bigfoot. Like my buddies have a video of a Bigfoot darting from tree to tree out in the woods in a national forest. And it's moving so fast it looks like a blur. And you know, and people see stuff like that, like ghosts or whatever, and out like haunted houses and stuff. I mean, I got sucked down the rabbit hole one day of watching this guy on TikTok who was filming his neighbor's house, and I had to go and like scroll through all his videos because I was like, man, this is crazy. This guy's like obsessed with this house. But I could see why after I started watching all his videos, because you know they've got the neighbors are trying to sell their house, and he was thinking about buying it, but he went over there and it's like completely haunted. I mean, like to me, it's like almost demonic kind of stuff going on over there. I mean, just like these shadows just darting from room to room. And when the lights come on at night, that are on a timer, the house is empty. But, well, it's empty of humans. But when the lights go off at night, and then they come on with a timer, you can see these shadowy figures darting past the windows, and like it's scary. You go in the house, they're like showing the house and stuff, or the realtor's going over there, and like the mirrors are flying across the room, and doors are slamming, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but my point is, in these videos that he has, these bodies are like flying, like they're darting through the house, and it's almost like a blur, but you can tell it's a human shape, like a humanoid shape, but it's going so fast you can't really see it. They're on a different dimensional plane than we are, a different density, I think. Mm-hmm. And so whatever that is, that's not a Bigfoot, probably. It's probably a ghost or some kind of demonic entity, or maybe it's grandma. You know what I mean? I don't know. Could be anything. But they're in a different density than us, and so it's moving different, and we're seeing it differently. I was actually told that Bigfoots and dogmen and all that, sometimes they have to slow down for us to see them. So there's that aspect too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking earlier, about adaptive camouflage, and I was like, I can do it too. If I put my camos back on, hey 73, if I put my camos on, I can step just a couple feet into the bush and I disappear as long as I don't move. But as soon as I move, you see me. And I've had that happen with deer. I've seen videos of Bigfoot do that same thing. I've seen videos of goats. I mean, I've seen videos of all things in nature: owls, cats, dogs, wolves, coyotes. I mean, panthers. So many things out there in nature. They blend in so well with their environment that if they stop moving, they look invisible. You don't know they're there. I've had deer walk up 5 feet from me, and I didn't even know they're there until I seen an ear twitch or a tail twitch. And I'm like, oh, crap, that's a deer. Where the hell did you come from? I mean, I've had that happen more times than I could count, So, and that's the thing is, like, these things blend in very well. So if you got something that's flesh and blood doing that, then you got where the cloaking side of it comes in, supernatural. We know supernatural can turn invisible. And hide their presence, or they can change their shape and do all that type of stuff. That's where you start questions. Okay, what am I running into? Is this thing flesh and blood? It's just not moving, so it's blended in with its environment, or is this thing fading in and out because it's trying to get your attention to feed off your fear?
Yeah, I guess it comes down to like what kind of entity is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is flesh and bone is like an animal or like a human type, or like a humanoid that's like here in our density, or is it something like you said, supernatural? So yeah.
Jeff, I can actually, I know what you're talking about. Jeff says, I know guys that can disappear wearing blaze orange. I've seen that too. I mean, I've had buddies of mine 50 feet from me and I didn't see them. And then all of a sudden they moved and I saw them. I was like, how did I miss that, dude? They're wearing hunter's orange. I missed something like that. It does happen, yeah. It's not as much as a lot of the other stuff, So when I left the Marines and go to the Army, we started coming. The Marine Corps invented a digital cami system that the military uses today. That's a Marine Corps design. Marine Corps' digital camo, hands down, is better than any other branches out there. Sorry, guys, but I'm not sorry. It's just true. We believe in concealing ourselves and not hiding our numbers like a lot of services. And I know that's for a fact because our digitals in the Army, when I transferred to the Army, their purpose was to hide our numbers, not hide us, which is something that upsetted me very much because it's like, so you're basically telling people, hey, they're right here, drop a bomb on them instead of where are they? But with those digital camos, and I still have some, it's somewhere around, I think it's in my closet. My digi camis from the Marines that I absolutely can't fit in because I'm a fat guy now. But I could literally wear that and step in 2 feet from a bush and vanish. I've done it more times than I can count. We use that to our advantage in the military to get the drop on our enemy. Corey says 100%. I've seen deer make themselves appear transparent by using the sun and the shadow together. Yeah, Corey, they absolutely can. I literally seen a fox disappear behind a 4-inch round tree. A red fox. I have red foxes and gray foxes here. I've had a red fox disappear behind a 4-inch tree. What does that tell you? And it's only 50 yards away. Damn thing disappeared. And there's no hole there. The thing just went behind a tree and I've never seen it again. And when I went over there, it was only a 4-inch tree and there was no hole there.
Yeah, trees could be portals too. Maybe. Or maybe it climbed up the tree.
For the supernatural beings, absolutely. There's a lot of reports, and most of your supernatural stuff, though, tell you that these mounds or these trees, the fae or whatever supernatural entity it is of the area, they can go in through them. It's their home. So yeah, I can see that. Gary says wearing olive drab, you can disappear just by not moving. Absolutely. You're 100% right, Gary. And Caleb says ghillie suits. Yeah, I know all about the ghillie suits. I made mine from a gunny sack and yarn because those were the two things that could pick up the leaves and the vegetation around me better than anything else. That's why I used gunny sack and yarn to make my ghillie suit when I was a scout sniper. It is. They cling to it. I mean, it's a pain in the ass to clean off, but your vegetation clings to it better than it does the other stuff that you can make. So yeah, ghillie suits. I mean, I've literally been in a ghillie suit and have somebody walk 2 feet from me and not even know I was there. I mean, these guys are right on that.
Yeah. There's some really good camo gear you can buy today. You blend right in, but you don't even need the camo gear. I mean, when we were out in the woods doing some camo training and stuff, like blending in, adaptive camouflage stuff. One of the guys that was out there kind of testing us and stuff, I mean, he had on I want to say a red rain jacket or some kind of like windbreaker, and he had a hood on it. I mean, it was like either red or blue, I think. Blue would have probably blended in a little better, but he was just sitting on a log, and he was just off the trail, and we did not see him. And we walked by him. It was weird. It was so weird. I was shocked because he just sat there with the hood over his head and he had it like tied really tight around his face. And he just sat there and it's almost like we were looking. Humans are predictable, as he would always say. And so like he knew like where our line of vision was going. And he was just off that, just slightly. And we weren't looking for where he was sitting. You know what I mean? Like we weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
And it's not hard to go camouflage yourself. You don't have to wear camo and ghillie suits and stuff.
No, I mean, I've had I've had deer literally walk right up to me in camo. I don't know how many times I've had squirrels sitting right at my feet or right next to my arm looking at me going, I know there's something there and I'm just not moving, I'm staring at it. And then me being me, I can't resist. I go, and that thing would shit itself, jump and fall off my tree stand barking as it's running. I love doing that to squirrels when I'm deer hunting. I know I'm not going to see a deer, but I can't help it. You got this little squirrel going, hey, there's something here. This don't look right. What's going on? I'm just sitting there going, this is too good. And and that thing will just bark itself, crap itself, jump, fall down on the ground, and literally it's run across the forest floor barking. I scared the crap out of it. I love doing that stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm out there to hunt to put food in my refrigerator too, but I'm going to interact with nature. But I've had all kinds of things walk up to me just from sitting down in the woods, not even hunting, just sitting out there. I've had things come up to me, birds, squirrels, deer, snakes, turtles. I mean, you name it, I've had it come up to me. And that's the thing, you just sit there and sit still. And it's once you move, you're done. They know you're there and they're usually gone.
Yeah. Yes. There's also the whole, I mean, this is like a superhuman type of ability too. It's almost like you can make yourself disappear. I've had people tell me before that they have successfully done this where they became basically invisible. And imagine like a force field around them and, they became invisible and people literally just walked right past them and did not see them.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a Coogee mind trick or something.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so you can also do that. Maybe that's what the Bigfoots are doing, and they're just really good at it.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, throwing that mind trick at you, basically. You want to call it that?
Yeah, I mean, and another thing too, when it comes to mind tricks, I'm glad you brought that up because look how many times a supernatural entity messes with your mind
Yeah.
to make you not see something or see something. I mean, these things can jack with your head,
Yeah.
and we're not as protected against it as say Bigfoot is. I always tell you when I go out on investigations, I always do my initial investigation. I'm trying to feel what's out there, so I know what type of protection to take, and a lot of times it just takes this thing right here, but not every. Oh, you little, come on, baby, get unhooked from there. My shark tooth necklace got wrapped around it.
Oh no.
Come on, let go, let go, let go. Most of the time, because of what I got in here, this keeps me protected from most of the things out there. But there's some things that's even so powerful that this is not even enough to protect me while I'm out there. So you got to have other stuff too. So I mean, you got to know what you're dealing with because you got to be able to protect yourself from it as well. So these things that can jack with you, if we don't have the right protection, they absolutely can jack with you because you're not protected from it.
Yeah, it's important that you put up some protection, but honestly, you just need to be able to control your mind. That's what you got to do. That's the main thing. Yeah.
For me, I don't carry my protection with me. I have it close at hand, but I don't carry it with me when I'm on an investigation because I very well can keep from seeing what I'm there to investigate because I have that on me. Now, is that going to be close at hand so I can grab it if I need it? Yes, that's going to be close at hand so I can grab it. But I've seen it and experienced it too many times that I've been there with something trying to find it and I couldn't find anything because I've had protection on me. So it was staying away from me. I was being protected from it. So what you're saying by that, I agree with you 100% because I've experienced that firsthand.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why I'm real particular about who I go out in the woods with and go look for cryptids with and stuff, and go do investigations because you gotta. If I don't trust someone to have their mind straight, like in a really bad situation, like I don't want to go out in the woods with them because it's just dangerous. It's just really dangerous because none of us know exactly what we're dealing with out there.
Yep.
Like we really don't. And we can speculate, and I've had a lot of experiences and stuff, but we still don't know what we're dealing with.
We were talking about earlier. You got some that's a-holes, you got some that's pretty cool, and some just like they just want to mess with you. But if you're like, people know me, I'm an advocate for broccoli. I love the broccoli. It's done wonders for me. I can partake of it because of my job, because I do work for a government entity. So therefore I cannot partake of it. But I won't even take somebody with me that's on the influence of broccoli, because what happens if we get into a situation where you get something that is an a-hole? And it's, dude, you're going to have to think fast and quick, or you're going to wind up as a steamy pile of poo on the forest floor. And I'm going to look at them like, it's you or me, dude, and you're dumb enough to do it. So peace, I'm going. I hate to be that way, but you can't be on that stuff when you're out there doing this, and you're going to miss so much too. Now, yes, can it heighten some aspects of it? Yes, it absolutely can heighten some aspects of it to make you more accessible to witness it. But if I'm dealing with cryptids or supernatural, no, absolutely not. I don't want to have that heightening ability me, because I want to be able to defend myself if I got to defend myself.
Right.
Let's face the facts. Even with broccoli, you're not in the right mindset, and you're thinking too slow to be able to protect yourself and the people around you.
Yeah, I would think so.
So,
yeah, that can get dangerous.
And that's like, I got a good friend of mine that wants me to go out Bigfooting with him. He wants me to take him Bigfooting. But because of the stuff he partakes in, I won't do it, because I can't have somebody like that with me out there.
Oh my gosh, that was wild. While we were sitting here, I just jumped because I have a little container of pineapple. over across the room, and the lid just popped off of the pineapple and went flying in the air. I
Oh
just
no!
watched it happen. Like it popped, and the lid was like midair. That is so weird.
You got something
That
jacking
was
with you.
weird. That was real weird.
Didn't you have something jacking with you like a month or so ago?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I can't remember who it was that was telling me about that.
Not here. Maybe out in the field or something. But
Okay, I missed a question. Let me find it.
that was crazy. I guess there's like some like the pineapple, like the acid in it or something that was building up or something. That was weird.
Okay,
Man.
Michigan had one. I'm sorry I missed it. It's not in caps, so I probably looked right over it. Michigan Sandman says, Jessica, do any portals make sounds?
I don't know. That's a good question. The ones that we've encountered did not make any noise at all. Now, a lot of people describe like hearing chains and like metal sounds, like garbage cans dropping and things like that when they're out in the field or out in some of these national parks. And so some people speculate that maybe that's like portals opening and stuff, but I don't know. I can't say yes or no on that. I have no idea what that is. Yeah, I don't think they make noise, but I don't know.
I've never experienced anything with noise. It's been like an energy shift or like a different vibration in the air. That's the two different, probably best descriptions I can say dealing anything with portals that I don't have a lot of experience with portals. I've had a couple instances with them. I'm not one that can manifest one. I know of stuff we got from the big kitty litter box uses that type of stuff to predict a certain thing that was under a different program than what we think that program's about. But that's one of the reasons why we was over in that kitty litter box is to get that Anunnaki technology to do that. But most of the stuff I've experienced has always been vibrations or a shift in the energy field. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think there's noise involved, but I don't know. There's portals everywhere. They're probably all different. I don't know. I'd like to see what a Stargate sounds like. Like a real big old Stargate. We were talking last night about the St. Louis Arch being a Stargate.
I must have missed that one.
That's near where you live, Eric.
Yeah, that's about 4 hours from me.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron says, Bounty said your candle was doing something weird.
The what?
Your candle behind you.
A candle? Oh, yeah.
Oh, here was... Corey says, I can't pop this. My chat's jacking up. Corey says, when I walked up on a portal, all I can hear was my heartbeat. William says, sometimes you'll hear a crackle or a pop, but not always. So, yeah, they'll have more experience about portals than I do. I've only had a couple instances with them. The last one was when I was in Jeff City on a live, and I had that supernatural entity messing with me in Jeff City. When I was doing that EVP session up there in Jeff City, I've been kind of looking into that for a while because I believe there's a demon king. What Christianity nowadays calls a demon king, it's a fallen angel is what it is. There's a fallen angel in Jeff City. I think that's why a lot of this negativity in Jeff City is going on is from this fallen angel. But like I said, most Christianity now calls them demon kings for whatever reason. I don't know why. That's just how they're taught, I guess. But it's a fallen angel. There's a fallen angel there in Jeff City, and I believe that is the source of a lot of negativity coming out of there. So when I was up there and I didn't have time to prepare for a good show, I was like, haven't done a live EVP session for a while. So let's do this live EVP session. And I was talking about this energy that I've been feeling last time I was up there and every single time I've been there of this type of energy here in Jeff City, which Jeff City is the capital of Missouri. And then I got attacked by something supernatural live. And in fact, I had to put up 2 different types of protection to stop it. And the rest of my stay there, while I was in my hotel room, I never had an issue or nothing. And part of what provoked me to do a live EVP there, because when I was there before last time, I literally seen 4 ghosts in that hallway down the other end of the hall from where my hotel room when I was coming back from eating one night. There was 4 of them down at the end of the hallway, and I had something jacking with me all night in my room. It was messing with my faucet. It was messing with the fridge. It was messing with the cabinets. It was messing with the AC system. It was doing all this types of stuff. Well, and that's what prompted me to do in the VP session on that live was, okay, I've got this going on, and I've got this supernatural entity here in Jeff City that I've been kind of looking at for, about 20 years now. I've been kind of looking into it, trying to get things figured out, and I've pretty much narrowed it down to this. And what happened that night pretty much confirmed everything for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am not a fan of hotels and stuff, like staying there, because when I go in places like that, I can feel if somebody has taken their own life in these hotel rooms. And I stayed at a casino a few months ago at a casino hotel. It was a really nice one. But I'm not a fan of casinos. I can't stand going to casinos for some reason. I just don't like the energy there for some reason. And when I walked in that hotel, I could feel the energy of that self-deletion all throughout that place, and it sucked. It really sucked. And I think that there's a lot of seedy things that go on at hotels and stuff, and so the energy is just rough at a lot of places like that. And and death, and that could have been what you were experiencing out there too. It could have been the spirit of somebody who had taken their life in that room.
Yeah, it was talking, but one of them wanted me to find them.
Really?
Yeah, it wanted me to find them. I actually run into that quite often on paranormal investigations, that somebody wants me to find their remains.
Really?
Yep. It's very, very common on paranormal investigations that I do. And I generally try to help them the best I can. But yeah, so I could see that, because look how many lives people have died, either natural causes or taken their life in hotels. So your concept on that, it's not out of the realm of possibility, because it actually happens all the time.
Man, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of staying at hotels. I'm just not. It doesn't matter how nice it is. You can have that kind of energy there.
I can tell you, I've been in many hotels all over this world, and not a single one of them that I've been to that had some type of haunting one way or another. It's usually multiple ghosts in there.
I stayed at this place down in Middle Georgia. There's a place called the Windsor Hotel, I think. And it's down in Americus. I think that's where Jimmy Carter was from. Americus, that area in Georgia. And that was the most haunted place I've ever been in my life, I think. I've been in a lot of haunted places, but I heard people walking around my room at night when I was trying to sleep. It's an old hotel. And it's in a mansion, or an old house, a huge house kind of. But it is a hotel. But it's right downtown. And if you look it up, I think it's called the Windsor, I think. And I could hear people walking up and down the hall all night. It just never stopped. And there's nobody in there. There's nobody out there. I actually got out of bed. I didn't even want to get out of bed because it was so creepy, because I was hearing somebody walking in my room and stuff. But it was constant commotion outside my door, and there was nothing out there and stuff. So yeah, I was not a big fan of that place either. It's beautiful, but it's creepy. If you want to go to a good haunted hotel, go to the Windsor in Americas.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that hotel in Eureka Springs, man, I've been in there a couple times. Yeah. That place is popping. That place is popping with paranormal activity. A lot of bad stuff happened there too. You ever get a chance to research that hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, you'll be shocked at the weird crap that doctor did there. He did some bad stuff there.
Was that one of those ghost shows? I feel like I've heard of it. It was. Did Ghost Adventures go there? I bet they did.
Probably.
Yeah, I have to look back.
They don't allow paranormal investigations on a certain floor anymore, especially in certain rooms. because investigators went in there and tore the place up, wanting memorabilia from that investigation. It's like, dude, this is why it gives us investigators a bad name when people do that. And these were famous investigators who was doing this crap.
Okay. That sucks.
Yeah.
I wonder if the springs had something to do with all the haunting there.
So there's a lot of werewolf activity there. There is a Demon King there too. Eureka Springs has changed a lot from since I was a kid, and not in a good way. It's ran. A lot of people have left it because of what Eureka Springs has turned into. And let me say this: San Francisco used to be known for this thing. Eureka Springs is known for it now. That's Eureka Springs now. There's a lot of old historical homes and buildings there. There is a lot of history there, a lot of negative history there from all different rounds. So, I mean, Eureka Springs itself is just chock full of negativity and paranormal stuff.
Well, sounds like a place that I'd like to go visit once.
Yeah.
Just once.
I haven't been there for a long time. I'm going to take some time off one winter and go down there. And even though I can't do an investigation there, I've got the opportunity where I can possibly sleep in them rooms. As long as I don't do a paranormal investigation, I have to sleep in a sleeping bag. They just don't want me doing an actual investigation while I'm there. So I'm like, man, I could stay in one of these rooms and still do an investigation. And I guarantee you're going to find something. But it's cheaper to go there in the wintertime than it is during the warmer seasons, because that's when they're the busiest.
Mm-hmm.
So I forgot the name of the hotel off the top of my head, but you can go there. It's Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
I've actually been to Arkansas. I remember I went to a conference there with a whole bunch of legislators back when I worked in politics and stuff. And we got to go to, I don't know where I went there, like Bill Clinton had some kind of like museum or something. I don't know where. I honestly don't know where I was, but it was like a replica of his White House office that I went in, and I actually have pictures of me on his phone sitting at his desk. Actually.
Yeah. I remember you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about that.
Yes, I have pictures of me there in his office. It was weird.
That's that guy in that state, and what I know what happened there in his time. That's a different show. That's a Rumble show.
Yeah, it is.
That is, yeah. I came in under that guy, and so I was a Yankee White when that guy was in office.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know what? I accidentally wore a blue dress that day too, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I remember you told me that now.
Yeah, it made it even funnier, actually. Okay.
That's epic. That's epic.
Oh my god. I was like, what is this? But anyways.
Yeah. No, I mean, so I can tell you, I mean, we've had a big W sighting on the Missouri and Arkansas border with a father and a son during the time of winter. And so, I mean, and we've had a lot of reports in northern part of Missouri where it's a lot colder. There's a lot of reports in the northern part of Missouri and Ohio area and Iowa and Nebraska area, all around that area of Missouri, that's got a lot of them sightings up there too. And I'm a firm believer. I mean, that's supernatural. That's one of the few supernaturals that you consider flesh and blood because it's a possession. So in it itself, it's supernatural, but it can be considered flesh and blood because it possesses flesh and blood, if that makes sense to people. So that's one of the few supernatural things that you can actually kind of consider to be flesh and blood because it's a possession. And if we know about these things, you know daggone well Bigfoot knows about these things. And I don't think Bigfoot's any safer than we are. Probably a lot safer than we are because it's a lot more powerful than we are. But I believe they're fed upon just like we are as well.
With their energy?
Big W eats flesh and blood.
Oh, like with their flesh and
yeah, eats them. I believe they eat Bigfoot too. I don't believe it just consumes humans. I believe they could probably consume Bigfoot too. think about it. They're out in the woods. They're not as protected as we are out in them woods. They're going to be out there with a big W versus where we're in a home.
I'm glad I live where it doesn't get that cold usually. I'm just kidding. It's actually supposed to be a really cold winter coming up, I heard. And I can't wait, actually, because it's been way too hot this summer. And I welcome any cold weather to come to Georgia right now.
Yeah.
It's been brutal.
Man, when I was down in Georgia, we was doing good if we got a frost. Yeah, I was down in Fort Benning, Georgia for a while. Yeah, we actually got a frost one time when I was there.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it snows here, ice is over and all that. But it'll be 100 degrees one day and then it'll be a blizzard the next day where we live. So, but I don't think that's natural personally.
No. It was funny because, I mean, when I was there, like I said, we got that frost that one day, that one morning. We had frost on the ground. I was like, damn, it's actually cold here. I see my breath.
Oh, yeah.
So I wasn't there for very long. I was only there for, I think it was a year and a half at the most. And most of that, I was gone because I was on deployment.
Oh, yeah. Man, yeah, Fort Benning down there has a lot of cryptid activity and stuff.
It does.
That area. Yeah.
I'm pretty convinced I seen a lizard man in the swamps there at Fort Benning. I'm not 100% sure. It could have been a big old gator. I just think it was too big to be a gator. I really think it was too big to be a gator. And it's just the way it moved. Everything about it was just, it was different. I've seen plenty of gators while I was down there. This didn't look like a gator.
How did it move?
It was like constantly, it was with us. And it moved, you know how a gator kind of moves slow?
Yeah.
And kind of like this. You can see it move in the water, but it's kind of like slow. This thing was more like, I mean, like we go here and I mean, that thing was instantaneous right on us. It didn't act like a gator. And the eyes looked further apart than they did for a gator. It was weird. It was just, you didn't see the tail. You didn't see the hump. You didn't see the nose. All you seen was the eyes. That was it. It was like just, it was only something about, from, I was 30, 40 yards from it. And it was about that big out in the middle of the swamp following us. I just happened to get it with my headlamp. I was out there, me and my ex-wife was walking our dog, or our Great Dane, Goliath, and along the swamps down there. And I just happened to catch it with my headlamp because we like to walk at night. It was cooler to walk at night than it was during the day. Yeah, it sucked with the insects down there, but that's why we used Skin So Soft. Didn't have near as much issues with the skeeters and stuff with Skin So Soft. So we would take our nightly walks at there instead of doing it during the day. And that was one of the few times I said, take Goliath, get back to the truck, and I'll be there in a little bit. And I stayed there and let it keep its attention on me until they got to the truck, and that's when I left.
All right, you're like, come at me, reptilian. Got something for you.
Yeah. I mean, at the time, I was like, dude, it's got to be a gator. It's got to be a gator. I mean, that's what I kept telling myself. But I was like, just does not act like a gator. And so the more I thought about it and more research I did, I started leaning towards, I think that was probably a reptilian.
Yeah, I just covered Appalachian reptilians on my show last week. And there are many. There's a lot. The Appalachians do go all the way down into Georgia where I live. And I'm probably about 30 minutes north of Columbus, or 45 minutes maybe. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm less than an hour from Columbus. Okay. And north of there. And I'm in the Appalachians here where I live. And so it's not that far from there. And there's swamps all down there too, Eric. And in the Okefenokee, if you just keep going south, you'll hit the Okefenokee down south right below it. Well, it's kind of over to the east of it. Okay. But still, the Okefenokee is known to have giants that live there. And I'm sure reptilians too. But there's some giants. Yeah.
My oldest was born in Columbus, Georgia.
Really?
Yeah, she was a preemie, so she couldn't be born on base. So she was born in the closest preemie hospital was Columbus, Georgia. So she's my little Georgia peach. And then my
So
youngest was born at Fort Riley, Kansas. So she's my little Kansas tumbleweed. And they both fit that personality to a T.
do they?
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, make a difference where you're born. You know, that's
Mhm.
all part of your astrology chart. You know, your birth charts and stuff. Where the stars are aligned, what time it is, the location, all that. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Georgia,
So
you got a Georgia peach. I didn't know that.
Yep. My oldest was born in Columbus, Georgia.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Me too. I was born in Georgia too. I wasn't born in Columbus though.
You were born in Atlanta, weren't you?
I was born somewhere around there.
Yeah, I can't remember.
We're there.
I know you was talking about Atlanta at one time, so I was trying to remember
I used
putting
to live
things
in Atlanta.
together. Huh?
Yeah, I lived in downtown Atlanta for 20 years.
That's what I was
Actually, I lived
thinking.
there for exactly 20 years. I lived in downtown Atlanta, and so yeah, I live downtown, and I love it. I am a country girl who can also run the streets if I need to. Okay.
Yeah, I remember you telling me stories of things you
Yes.
experienced while in Atlanta because we was talking about that. I can't remember what we was doing a show on cities, and I think it was vampires or something. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, we have vampires in Atlanta. There's everything.
That was.
I lived in a haunted house in downtown Atlanta. A very haunted house.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking Atlanta because I remember you talking about Atlanta. And I was like, wait, I remember something about Atlanta and you because I remember us talking about that before on the show.
Yeah. The black-eyed man that showed up at my door at 3 something in the morning or 4, I don't know what time it was. The flies on my ceiling, the black mass that knocked me down into my cabinets,
Picking up your pen.
Oh yeah, the vase. I had like a vase, a hand-blown glass vase. People say vase. That's called a vase.
Mm-hmm.
I had it was like delicate glass, and it like floated across the room, and then it fell on the ground really hard and didn't break. Yeah, weird stuff. I used to even have like dreams at night of an old man, and he'd be like he's always in the bathroom washing his hands. I was like, what the hell? He's always washing his hands. He never would talk to me, but we had an understanding, and I would communicate with him in my dreams. And I'd be like, "Hey, we're actually friends. You know, we're gonna have to be friends while I'm living here. You and me, buddy. We're gonna have to be friends for a while. You better leave me the heck alone, and I'll leave you the heck alone, okay? And or I'm gonna bring the exorcist over here, okay? I will banish your ass, okay? But yeah, things just got really, really weird there. It was not a good feeling. But it was a great location. It was a great location to live. And the apartment was nice, but it was haunted.
Yeah, I remember because we talked about that because I've had issues where I've come home and I'd have stuff moved, stuff like that. And I've told things, and I do it even now when they start getting a little out of hand. It's like, look, hey, cool your shit or I'm going to evict you. That's just how it is. And it'll stop. Every now and then something will pick up, and I got to remind it, I'll evict you. We live together in peace and harmony, or you're gone because I'm not leaving.
Yeah. So, I have friends that know how to exercise homes, so better behave. That's all I know to say. That's all I can tell you.
Just make sure we're there with them because it's more effective if you're there because you hold the power more than anybody else does. You can give somebody the power, but your power over that home is more effective than anybody else's, even if you give them permission to do that. If you don't give them permission, they can't do it. It won't work. You have to give them permission because you own the power in that home. That's your home. So if you do end up having to do that, just remember, be there with them. It's a lot more effective. So we got about.
You never have to worry about it.
We got about 7 minutes left. I know you got to get up bright and early in the morning. So do I, because I got to go back to work. We're hot mixing tomorrow. I've got a couple roads left to do on hot mixing, and I've got a budget I've got to do to figure out how much more roads we can do this year. So with that's left, kind of tell everybody a little bit about your show, what you got going on, and any type of guest speaking you're going to be doing and stuff like that.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, I've enjoyed getting groped by your skeleton all show, the entire show.
Oh.
He's like grabbing my boobs the entire show. I'm trying to move. Get away from my Get away from me, skeleton.
I have to be careful
No,
because
let's
sometimes it's
go.
trying to pick my nose.
I'm just kidding. I had to say that's funny. I've been sitting here watching this thing rub on me the entire show, but
Yeah.
anyways, oh my gosh, y'all can find me over on the Cryptid Huntress channel on YouTube, and I am over there every Monday, Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 Central, and every Thursday night at 8, 7 Central, and every Saturday night, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. And I'm over there. You can find me over on my website, thecryptidhuntress.com. And I'm pretty much the Cryptid Huntress all over social media and everything. But yeah, that's pretty much where y'all can find me. Or getting groped over here on Eric's channel by the
Yeah.
skeleton occasionally.
I've had it trying to pick my nose before.
You got the hands on your side too. You got the little
Yeah. Let's
the
see. I can
skeleton
change it.
ones.
I think it was. Which one is it where it's trying to pick my nose? Let's see here. If it'll do it. Nope, it's not that one.
Oh my God.
I can't remember which one it is, but the thing will try to pick my nose. It's funny as all get out.
Maybe
No,
it's this one. This one can pick my nose.
Oh, it's not working. But anyways, don't forget about your Etsy. So if you want to support Jessica and all her terrific work that she does, I mean, hands down, people, Jessica is one of the funnest friends I've got that I've met doing this. She's got a lot of information. She does shows on a lot of different stuff. If you're not following her, you're missing out. I'm telling you, I have a lot of fun when she's on my show. I have a lot of fun when I'm on her show. She has a lot of stuff. So to help support her in her investigations and everything else she does, because this is her job, folks. This is my job too, but I have a full-time job outside of this. This is Jessica's job. This is what she does. Go to her Etsy and support her Etsy. And she sells stuff on her Etsy. So that's one way to help her out.
Thank you. Yeah, I always kind of forget about that to advertise so much, but I have a shop on Etsy. It's called More Woman Goods. I've got a whole bunch of new stuff. It's actually old stuff. It's like vintage Native American jewelry and stuff. And I've got a whole bunch of stuff to add to that collection this week. So I'll be posting some more stuff. And thank you, Eric. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that will come in. I've got that. We've talked about it. I've got that pressed now. As soon as I can get a little money saved up where I can get that material I want, I'll be get some shirts made for you. How do I switch sides, William? Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. It ain't letting me do it. I don't know how to do it.
So you get your nose picked.
Yeah, I guess it'd be me.
So you get groped. You get the grope.
I'll get the grope. He can grope my bubarros.
I've been watching. No, look, it's actually been quite funny watching this the whole show. I keep trying to move.
Hey, Skidder. Yeah, it's and what's sad is when I enlarged it, it didn't make it any better. Let me get back to that enlarging one.
Oh my God, it's funny. Now I'm all pixelated.
Yeah, so now it's just rubbing your shoulders, giving you a massage. What was that? But I got a weird noise coming. Are you hearing something weird on your end? Oh. Wow. That is so weird. I can't even hear nothing. I've lost sound. Now the dogs are barking. I've got some weird kind of static thing going across my deal, and the dogs are barking. Let's see, is that any better? Nope. I still got it. It's weird as hell. If you guys can hear me, I'm having some weird stuff going on with my computer right now. It's a hiss. Okay, I'm not the only one hearing it. Oh, it's you? I can't hear you. Oh, okay. with that being said, shout out to all my moderators, Corey, Roxanne, William, and Jeff. Somebody had Taco Bell. To my all my new subscribers, all the way to my OGs. Thank you guys. I mean, we're over the 900 mark now. We're over the 900 now, so we're growing. That's awesome. You guys are great. And there we go. So yeah, it is on your end. Sorry, I muted you for a second because of that static. Shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. Jessica, I know I can't hear you because everything going on. Thank you for coming. I just had something fly past me. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. It's been great. And until next week, guys, peace, love, and blessings to every single one of you guys. You guys are awesome. And we'll see you then. So goodbye, everybody.
Your pulse will race, your breath will freeze in this realm of uncanny mysteries. Dare to tread where the darkness hides, through the cracks of the world's thin sides. Join if you will take the dare, where we learn of things that scare. The bazaar wears a wicked grin.